how much circumstantial evidence is enough for a conviction? Imagine trying to solve a mystery with only pieces of a puzzle. You might not see the full picture right away, but when all the pieces fit together, the story becomes clear. That's how circumstantial evidence works in a courtroom. It's made up of facts or clues that suggest someone committed a crime, but don't directly prove it. For example, finding a suspect's fingerprints at a crime scene or seeing them near the scene at the time of the crime. These clues requiring logical thinking to connect the dots. Unlike direct evidence, like an eyewitness seeing the crime happen, circumstantial evidence asks the jury to infer guilt based on the overall picture. The question is, how much of this kind of evidence is enough for a conviction? Well, the law says it's enough when the evidence convinces the judge or jury beyond a reasonable doubt that the only logical conclusion is the defendant's guilt. This means the evidence must be strong enough to rule out other reasonable explanations. For example, if someone is found with stolen items, has a motive, and was seen acting suspiciously afterward, all these clues together can form a convincing case. The key is that the evidence must be coherent and from a clear chain of reasoning that points to guilt. Multiple pieces of circumstantial evidence often work better than just one. When they all support the same conclusion, they create a stronger case. For instance, if a person's DNA is found at the scene, they had the opportunity to commit the crime, and they behaved strangely afterward, these clues together make a compelling argument. The court looks at whether these clues, taken as a whole, make it impossible to believe anyone else did it. Jurors are told to treat circumstantial evidence with the same seriousness as direct evidence. The law does not give less weight to indirect clues. Instead, it's about how well these clues fit together to tell a convincing story. The standard remains high, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. This means that if there is any reasonable explanation that the defendant is innocent, the jury must find them not guilty. In many cases, convictions relying heavily on circumstantial evidence, especially when direct evidence is missing. Judges and juries must carefully evaluate whether the total picture excludes all reasonable doubts. If the combined evidence points only to guilt and leaves no logical alternative, then it is enough for a conviction. So, how much is enough? It's enough when the evidence, viewed as a whole, makes guilt the only reasonable conclusion. That's the standard that keeps the justice system fair and thorough.